Well, I've been interested in stamp making and like linoleum block printing for a long time. Oh, these are a few simple linoleum block designs that I've made over the years. I like this coffee cup one. It actually prints pretty nicely. And this kind of funny guy with his hair on fire is kind of fun. There's a little star. That kind of works as a Christmas card design, and this is the wild guy with a cigar burning kind of thing I've done. But more recently, of course, with my friendship with Ethan Moses, we've made rubber stamps using his laser cutter, and so these were a few. These two are attempts at trying to do pictures of faces with actual grayscale tones, and it doesn't really work all that well because you don't have true half-tone dots. But this one here is a little piece of line art that I did. It's a guy holding a magnifying glass, and there's his eye is magnified in the magnifying glass, but there's the actual stamp itself. And so I had several stamp pads in the past that were hanging around the office here, and this one in particular I was interested in it. Pitch black, sounds like nice and dark, but it turns out that the pad itself was pretty well dried up. And so when I was at my neighborhood Staples the other day, I come across this stuff here, this premium roll-on ink for stamp pads, and you unscrew it, and you basically just turn it upside down, and then you roll this on, and you can re-ink your stamp pad. So let's grab a piece of paper. I'm going to use this new to me Astrobright's brand Kraft colored paper, and we'll just see how this works. So this is the orientation of the stamp, and it's a good idea to take a look at the stamp before you actually attempt to impress it in the paper. Make sure all the features are well inked. Right, make sure there's ink. Sometimes these bigger stamps you have to try a couple times. That looks pretty good. Okay, let's see about this. And you want to press it down, left, right, up, and down. Oh, not too bad. There's a little bit of faintness right here, and I think it would have helped if I had this on a softer surface underneath instead of this hard clipboard. Sometimes a soft surface underneath will give you a little cushioning, and it'll improve the printing of the stamp itself. Let's try it again. This time I'm going to put this paper napkin, paper towel, kind of under here. That's the paper towel that I'm supposed to be wiping my hands on. We'll see here. Okay. Hey, not too bad. I like the look of the black ink stamp art on this Kraft paper. It's really neat. So let's just try it one more time, shall we? Much better. Yeah, I think this premium roll-on ink for stamp pads is a really great product. It gives you a lot of life in your old stamp pads. You know, these things are never often very darkly inked from the factory, and they dry out pretty quick. And here you can add as much ink as you want. You can make it as dark as you like. So well, this is my old 3-ring binder of my blog articles. Yes, indeed. This is one of these 4-inch wide almost binders that I've had for a few years, and it's now getting full. This is all my typewritten blog articles. And when does it start? That's a good question. Oh, looky here. It starts January 11th, 2016. That's right. What is that, 5 years ago? 5 years worth of blogs. This is the Galaxy 12. I'm typing in the kitchen. That's interesting. I haven't done any kitchen typing in a long time, but you know, the thing about having your blog articles in chronological order is you get to see what machines you were using back then and where you were typing and kind of a little bit about how you formatted the writings and all that. This was the Corona 4. I don't even have this typewriter anymore, and I can kind of see why. It never had a great imprint. And we go back to February 2016, and now we're on the wide carriage Olympia SM9, another typewriter I don't even have anymore. This was typed on my front patio, and then I did a blog article here where I actually hand wrote the first rough draft. This one, new sneakers, new feet for the Corona 4. Yes, February 2016. Well, we could go through the whole thing. It would take us hours and hours. But as you can see, we have just a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, we have so many blog articles. Different kinds of paper. There's the Hermes 3000. Oh yeah, I was actually typing on this newsprint paper that's 9 by 12 inches, a little oversized for the book here. This was the Naked typewriter, the Naked Hermes 3000. Oh man, it just goes on and on and on. Well, so anyways, this is just years and years of blog articles, and it's time now to get a new notebook. Okay, so yesterday I wrote a blog article, Astrobright's Kraft colored paper, a 2-page blog article. And I think I'm going to start this new notebook I have with this blog article, since the paper and the new notebook were purchased the same day. But in the meantime, this old 3-ring binder now goes in my archives. Chronological record of all the writings I've made in the last 5 years. And so I'm always of the opinion, if you're going to buy a big notebook that's going to hold years and years worth of blog articles or whatever, you want to get a good quality one. This is one of the better ones that you can get at Staples. Heavy duty plastic binder with a pocket for a title sheet. There is a little window here on the side for putting a label, and the way that works, oops, bumped the camera. The way that works is you have this little insert here that you can type on or write on, and your label goes underneath here. There is a pocket on either interior folio, and then of course a single clamp here, a single knob for the papers to be bound in. So here we go. The first blog article. So I'm going to have to start a label going with the date range starting on May 17th, 2021. So what I often like to do with these, just as a matter of convenience and practicality and a little bit of thriftiness, is I will pull the old sheet, the advertising slip, and I will flip it around and use that for the label. Well, when I was wandering through Staples yesterday, getting my supplies, I happened across this Astrobright's paper. It's 24 pound or 89 grams per square meter in the Kraft color. And just this logo of the front sheet there just sort of struck me. I really like the way this dark ink against the Kraft colored paper looks. And it's really kind of nice paper, and I do like the way it looks with typewriters and black inky stamps here. Let's see, I have a couple sheets here, one sheet at least. This was a one-type page article that I typed on the Royal Mercury yesterday afternoon out in the patio, and yeah, it looks pretty good, you know. I really do like the way the typewriter ink takes to this paper. The red ink prints nicely also. Well, so recently I got this, an iPad mini. I had an iPad 2, the old iPad 2. I had it for years, and it was so old that the operating system was running slow, the browser was slow, and I decided I really like the iPad mini size tablet better, especially for just sitting in bed or sitting on the couch or whatever and consuming content. It's quite fun. I had to decide if I was going to get a case or for it, like a little protective sleeve, and if I was going to get the Apple Pencil, I would have to get the little one that has the pencil holder, and I wasn't really sure if I was going to get the Apple Pencil. Wasn't sure what kind of sleeve or case to get for this. So I noticed that the box made a pretty good little container, but I was unhappy with the idea of the way the box was decorated just with plain white paper. One of the things I really hated about the box was throwing it away. And it had a lot of packaging in here that was very wasteful, I thought, of Apple. So there is this piece of paper here. This is multiple thicknesses of cardboard. And the whole purpose for this is just to hold 2 sheets of paper. Right, so it's like a really wasteful kind of packaging. I understand they're trying to present you with a really nice kind of unboxing experience, but it was really wasteful. This is wasteful. Throwing away the box was really wasteful. So what I started doing is I started putting the tablet in its box that it came in, just like that, and then I would nestle the box into the lid like this, and I could use it on my lap to watch movies or consume the internet, read or whatever. So then I started tinkering, right? So one thing I did is I said, okay, I'm going to need a little bit of a cutout here for my headphones so I could have the box smoothly mounted in its original packing but still use the headphones. And then I needed access to the power button on the side of the tablet. And then on the other side I cut this slot out so you have access to the charging port and the speakers, right? And then from previous experience that I had with my other tablet, I knew that with the speakers, if you put a little bouncer plate, a little metal plate that you could stick on the side of it, it'll bounce the sound out and project it forward. And so I had a scrap of this sheet copper in my hardware bin in the garage, and I just covered it with my poor man's lamination technique, which is 2-inch clear packing tape. That's always a good technique to use. So the metal doesn't scratch the back of the tablet, but it's basically sized here where you can just fit that in there like that, and you can adjust the volume however you like. It sits in the box really nicely. And then as far as the accessories go, right? So first of all, I did some cutouts. The earbuds were a little tall. They were too tall for this little recess. They would kind of stick up and cause the tablet not to sit even. So I cut these little slots here to recess the earbuds in here, and then I cut a slot here and an opening here. You can feed the entire headphone cord underneath here to keep it nice and secure. And then, because this is the original packaging that the charging block came in, I just store it there, and then I made a cutout over here so that I can store the charging cord, right? And it makes a little handier way to store it rather than carrying it with you separately or losing it somewhere. But you always have the charging cord available, and you sort of just stuff it underneath there so that you make room for the tablet. Goes on top, it sits nice and flush, and if you don't want to use the little sound bouncer plate, you can just store it right in there. It works really well. One last thing I did was the inside surface. This cardboard is really slippery and kind of really smooth, almost plasticky. So I had some adhesive craft felt, or craft foam, I should say, and I stuck it in there so that the inner box will just sit there at whatever angle you put it at, and you can rest it on your lap and consume content or read or whatever, and it makes a genuine nice little holder for it. And when you're done using it, you can just cover it up and stick it away. And that reminds me, yeah, I did decorate this, so I bought 2 different kinds of duck tape. This is the Duck brand. This boilerplate aluminum color tape is the Duck brand, and I covered most of the box with it. My grandson gave me a logo for a sticker for his barbershop that he works at, Classic Barbershop, downtown Albuquerque, and so that's cool. So this tape sticks really well. It's very sticky, but I also got a roll of this other tape. This is sort of a black and silver mottled or glittery tape, and it doesn't stick all that well. This is like a 3M Scotch type of duct tape, but it doesn't stick all that well, so it kind of is peeling off a little bit right here. I may have to do something with that, but I wanted kind of a two-tone, 2 different kinds of silvery looks to it. So there you go. That's my little iPad mini storage case and holder and holster and carrying box, made from the original packaging that the tablet came in when it was new, so I didn't have to throw anything away. And you might want to watch someone's favorite channel, like you might want to watch this guy's channel if you're going to be consuming content.